Hi, it's Creston here from Santiago, Chile.
This is just a short video about the recent events happening in Chile and why they're important for all people living in and struggling for a democracy. The events unfold pretty straightforwardly like this. There was a hike in the metro fare ticket in the 14th of October, and this essentially exacerbated and ultimately ignited the anger of the Chilean people to the point where they went to the streets. The military responded. The president of Chile, Piñera, who is a billionaire, and obviously his policies favor those in his very, very few elite classes, about 7 families in Chile, who are making billions and billions of dollars while the cost of living goes up. Essentially, they have to pay for products in the first world economy while living in the third world, and it's getting worse. My visit there recently demonstrated that for me personally.
There's a choir singing a song by Victor Jara, who was killed under the Pinochet regime. Jara was like a Bob Dylan to the national consciousness of Chile. I saw firsthand the shanties that were built in Santiago.
In 1973, after a democratically elected, legitimately elected government was installed, who was more of a socialist side, the U.S. backed a militant coup d'etat that happened. There was an attempt that happened early on, a couple months after
Salvador Allende
was installed, but it was a failed attempt from just one regiment of the military. And in 1973, almost 3 years after, 2.5 years after, the Pinochet, General Pinochet, backed by the U.S., overtook and destroyed the basically what is the White House, where the seat of government is, and they did it with tanks and aircraft. I was walking down the center of Chile, which is about 30 minutes walk from me, where I am now, and I saw where Pinochet, his headquarters was located. And his headquarters was located in a place where it was used to be a solidarity community network, a beautiful building, and they just took it over. It's true that the CIA funded it, and these documents are public now. They were made public by Clinton in 1999. Thousands of people were killed, all in the name of creating an economy based on free market, privatization and free market, what essentially amounts to is neoliberalism. So it's interesting to see that Milton Friedman and the Chicago boys from the University of Chicago, who trained economic advisors here in Chile, they saw that if they backed a coup, a democratically elected, a coup attempt against a democratically elected government, they could use neoliberalist economic arguments or practices to grow the economy for the 1%. And it turns out this whole trickle-down effect that is, if you cut taxes for the rich, they'll give jobs to and more opportunities for the rest of us. Turns out that actually is not only not true, the reverse has happened. So, for example, these shanties that are around where I'm staying, in a very poor neighborhood where people are sleeping on the streets, all over the place. Turns out that poverty has actually doubled, almost doubled, since neoliberalism has been installed here.
So to sum up, the free market neoliberal economy clearly doesn't work for the majority of people and for democracy. People have had enough in Chile, and they are rising together in unity against the neoliberal economic structure in struggle for a more democratic, more fair and equitable society.